Why, hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to another awesome, riveting, exciting episode of B Sharp and C. Today, I want to focus on an artist who I truly feel is known by almost no one in the world of music fandom. I believe that this artist is known by a lot of musicians. I don't believe that. I know that. He's known by a lot of musicians. But when you mention the name Rocky Athas to the average music fan, they're like, what? Is that movie with Sylvester Stallone? But no. Today's episode is about Rocky. Adrian! No, not that Rocky. Rocky Athas. Also known as the Texas Tornado and the last great blues breaker guitarist. More on that in just a couple of seconds, but just listen who this artist has worked with. Who has Rocky Athas worked with? His first studio album, recorded in Willie Nelson's studio, produced by Jim Gaines. Jim Gaines, is he even a big-time producer? Who has he worked with? That name doesn't really ring a bell. Huey Lewis, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Santana, and many other legends. Yes, that producer produced the studio albums for Rocky Athas. And Rocky has musically collaborated with people like Double Trouble. Double Trouble was the bassist and the drummer for Stevie Ray Vaughan, Buddy Giles, Glenn Hughes, Joe Walsh, and John Mayall. The list goes on. He actually was the lead guitarist for John Mayall's Blues Breakers for 8 years. Now that is kind of awesome because John Mayall is a British blues legend in his own right. So to be considered that last great blues breaker guitarist is quite the honor. Honestly, he has been around and played with some of the greats out there. But why am I choosing to do this episode of B Sharp and C about him? Why do we need to B Sharp and C Rocky Athas? Well, simply put, because he's awesome. However, I think we need to give attention to his solo stuff. I'm not going to sit here and talk about his 8 years playing with the Blues Breakers. I'm not going to talk about his collaborations with other people. I want to focus on what Rocky Athas has done as a solo artist. Now, from what I could find online, and it's actually not easy to find, I am kind of disappointed with how unpopular Rocky Athas is in the eyes of music fans. Other musicians know this guy is just simply awesome. But I have to go out and force feed Rocky Athas to people for them to say, wow, holy crap, this guy's actually really good. But almost no one knows of his stuff, and it's really hard to find sometimes online. The good thing is he has a website. So Rocky Athas has a website. Go to the website, learn about his solo stuff, learn about his history, his career, the people he's worked with, people he wants to thank. But also, right there, you can find what he does and what he's been doing as a solo artist. I could only count 4 albums under just Rocky Athas, and then there were 3 or so that I was able to find under the Rocky Athas group. So that's a total of 7. Maybe there's an 8th out there of his solo stuff. I really don't know. I just have to say I wish it was 20, honestly. When you're playing for greats and working with others on their projects, you don't always have the time to do what's burning inside you. You really don't. You really don't. And I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine who's a keyboard player, and is really busy. And he's like, I just wish I had time to work on the music I have inside me. But you can't always write your own stuff and work on it and develop it when you're a master at your instrument and everyone wants you to play with them. You just can't. There's not enough hours in the day. However, all that being said, I am grateful for the 7 or 8 solo albums that do exist. And you can tell this dude works hard, but he has a deep, deep passion for good guitar playing and good melodic note choice. And when I say good melodic note choice, I mean he just wants to make sure he takes you on a melodic journey. He's not just saying, well, this solo doesn't really hit me in the heart, but it's not wrong. It's in the scale. Nothing's off key. I'm going to keep it in. Trust me, all throughout rock history, the majority of lead guitarists, in my opinion, I also think my opinion is fact. No, but seriously, the majority of rock and roll guitarists will play a guitar solo, and even they are not really moved by it. But it's not wrong. I don't play outside the scale. There's no sour notes. I'm keeping it. And they keep it in there, which is fine, okay? But some guitarists understand that note choice can actually cause the listener to journey emotionally. It can cause the listener to just go travel in their own mind. And Rocky knows that. When he writes guitar solos, his effort, his purpose is to take you on a musical journey, and he's very successful at that. But I don't want to just talk about his guitar playing. I think it's important to know that in these albums that he has made, the songwriting between him and the members of his group is just awesome. Awesome. So what kind of music is this? What kind of music does Rocky Athas play? Well, in an interview, he once said, "I play the Texas blues." He described it himself in an interview, so that's kind of what it is, because that's what he says it is. But he's not a Stevie Ray Vaughan clone. First of all, I hate that reference. Yes, poor Corey Stevens. I'm serious. People listen to a few licks from Corey Stevens and they're like, "Oh my God, he sounds just like SRV," and then they turn him off, saying they don't want to hear anymore. Well, first of all, a Fender Strat can sound like a lot of things, okay? But if you're able to play one and you end up sounding like a certain legend, why is that bad? But anyways, I'll deal with that if I ever do a Corey Stevens episode, okay? This episode is about Rocky Athas, who is far from a Stevie Ray Vaughan clone, but he can do some licks and sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan when he wants to. But you know who Rocky Athas sounds exactly alike? Ready? Rocky Athas sounds exactly like Rocky Athas. Listen to the song No More Breath, and then come tell me that he sounds like somebody else out there. Put it in and listen to it. And when I say put it in, it's because I grew up in the 80s and 90s. There's really nothing to put it in. Type it in to YouTube or Spotify. Listen to the song No More Breath. The song not only is written in a very, very different style, but here Rocky Athas sounds more like David Gilmour or Snowy White than anyone from Texas. What does this tell me? What does this tell us? That this dude isn't afraid to leave his comfort zone and to venture out to the other side of the pond and to add a little British flair to his playing. But don't get too comfortable with just one genre on his albums either, because he's actually pretty eclectic. I kind of disagree with him when he says, "I play Texas blues," because that's his main style, but he ventures out and does stuff that's like, what is this? He's very eclectic in what he does, right? But he also does instrumental songs. Oh, just a little kicker. He can tear it up, okay? He can shred. He chooses not to. Every now and then in one of his solos, there's some shreddery happening, okay? But he only likes to use the fast playing and the shredding when it serves the song. He really doesn't just get out there and show off as far as shredding is concerned. If anything, if he's going to show off, it's going to be something creative, something interesting. And yeah, that's what I like. It's just creativity with the guitar and not necessarily, I'm just going to play lightning fast and let that compensate for everything else. No, he doesn't do that. The listener is riding the sound waves in his music as they pan left, as they pan right, as they ebb, as they flow, as they rise, as they fall. In just one song, he incorporates different styles of playing, finger picking, wah-wah effects, It's really a melodical ride up and down the fretboard. But I think it's important to focus on one gigantic aspect of some of this guy's music. Not only does he include plenty of the traditional Texas blues and a good amount of instrumental stuff, but then he teams up with Larry Samford for a bunch of songs. He and his team write a bunch of excellent stuff, and it's almost like he's saying, every note I play, every trick I do on the guitar will be intentional. And just simply mind-bogglingly perfectly placed. So I have a challenge for you, the listener. I dare you to go to Spotify, go to YouTube, go to your granddad's 8-track player. I don't care. 3 songs I want you to hear. And I believe Larry Samford is singing on all of them. Wait, let me just listen to them in my head. Yeah, Larry Samford is singing on all of them. Miracle, No More, The Last of the Blues. They are all sung with the late, great, absolutely awesome Larry Samford. Just a little sidebar on Larry Samford. He is probably the only male vocalist I know where I scratch my head in confusion as I describe his voice. Because he is so insanely smooth and also so insanely gritty at the same time. I don't even understand how or why that's able to exist. I just accept it. But that's Larry Samford for you. It's a perfect fit for the writing style of Rocky Athas. All that being said, every single detail of the music is highlighted and accentuated with a huge punctuation mark because the sound engineering in mixing on all of this solo stuff from Rocky Athas is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And then you have something simple like the keyboard player who plays backing keys. He just really sits in the background, but he creates the atmosphere for these songs. It's a perfect choice for this music. Listen to the song Miracle by Rocky Athas, okay? Listen to it, enjoy the guitar. Then after it's over, go back and listen to it again. But now only listen for the keyboard in the background. You will realize that the song would probably disintegrate to like nice garage band jamming if it weren't for the warm embrace of the backing keys. Trust me, backing keys are you ready for the pun? Key. All right, now go listen to the song No More. The organ is like undulating in the background and simply just playing chords. Honestly, these chords sound like they're triads, but I don't know. I didn't test it. But these sound like basic chords. But in the song No More, the backing keyboard is like the lungs of the song, man. The song has life. It breathes. And in No More, it is the organ that is breathing for the song, not the guitar. The guitar is the delicious icing on the cake. And when Rocky solos in these songs, even in No More, he's saying, yes, I'm actually that good. Here I am. But you can tell he just loves a good song. He serves the song beautifully. But yes, his music is guitar heavy. It's just a perfect choice to accentuate the great guitar, but it's just great music all around. If you like to analyze good music, this is it. And listen with headphones on. And you'll hear a guitar lick in the right ear, but then it kind of finishes in the left. It's like, who the heck engineered this? It's just really nice altogether, and it's not over-engineered. I've heard songs that are over-engineered. Heck, I've even over-engineered my own songs to where I'm listening to the song, and I'm like, what the heck did I do? I put one drum beat in the right ear and the rest in the left? What the heck was I thinking? So that's not the case. This is professionally done. Very, very, very well done. But don't let that amazing guitar playing deter from the fact that the songs are just well constructed, arranged, and mixed. It's the best of all worlds. Rocky Athas and his team are just great at songwriting. You know, and arranging whatever they did for those albums worked. Probably had a lot to do with the producer too. Just a lot of things lining up at the right time. But none of it would work if Rocky Athas wasn't so amazingly awesome at the guitar. So I won't just ramble on for this episode. I'm not going to dive into Rocky Athas's personal life. I don't know the guy. I did contact him, let him know I was doing an episode about him. Some artists get back to me, and they even get back to me with information. I've had artists get back to me with information about their band and say, well, if you're doing a podcast episode about me, maybe you should know A, B, and C. But I do stay out of the personal life. This is not a biographical podcast. There are times I do get into some personal stuff because it adds to the music. And trust me, when I do Nina Simone, I will talk probably a good amount about her personal life as well as the music, only because, I mean, she had a struggle and she was, you know, just like Louis Armstrong, there was a lot that contributed to the music. And, but with Rocky Athas, I don't know much about his personal life. I don't know his story. I can just tell you what I know now is that all of his music has gone sinfully unrecognized, and I just can't have that. Not in my world. So go listen to Rocky Athas and the Rocky Athas Group and be as pleasantly surprised as I was. Until next time, this is Artie Astor coming to you from a studio in Orlando, Florida. Stay groovy and enjoy The Voices, Season 11. Hallie Tomlinson as she sings one of my songs, Lost Refrain.
Never had to be a goodbye the way it was, but we didn't see just how high I was. Never should have cried in your arms, in my dreams. And even though you lied, I was on to all your schemes. But I don't wanna be a broken girl who can only sing of fame. But I sit in the sea in my frozen world with the somber ring of lost refrain. Time goes by in a whisper, under the storm, as I try to run to where it's warm. I don't wanna live a broken dream of a